All right, let's get right into it. We're talking about AMC. And look, you need to understand, this isn't just another stock. This is a battlefield. It's a full-on war between everyday people like you and me, the retail investors, and some of the most powerful institutions on Wall Street. So, here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we're going to look at the insane contradiction at the heart of all this, the thing that proves something is fundamentally broken. Then, we get to the good stuff, the clear case for market manipulation. We'll cover their motive, why they're so terrified of AMC's comeback, and yeah, we'll even look at the bogus story they're trying to sell with their charts. And finally, we'll see exactly where we stand in this epic standoff.
To really get what's happening with AMC, you have to start with the puzzle. There's this glaring contradiction that honestly just screams that the system isn't working the way it's supposed to. It just makes no sense.
So on one hand, you have the narrative that the big money institutions keep pushing down our throats, right? They point to negative earnings, negative book value, a downtrend, all the textbook stuff. But then you open your eyes and look at what's actually happening in the market. You see colossal trading volume, you see extremely bullish bets being placed, and you see a level of investor loyalty that is absolutely unbreakable. The two stories just don't match. And get this, on a pretty typical day, you can see over 22 million shares change hands. We're talking more than 3 times the normal average volume. So you'd think with all that activity, the price would be shooting up, right? Nope. It finishes the day almost exactly where it started. You tell me how that's possible. It's not. And if you want even more proof, just look at the options market. This is where people are putting serious money on the line, betting on where the stock is headed. And it is overwhelmingly, ridiculously bullish. For every 1 bet that the stock is going down, there are nearly 6 bets that it's going to the moon. The demand is there, the buying pressure is undeniable.
So, you've got all this buying, all this bullish sentiment, but the price is stuck in the mud. For us, the investors who call ourselves apes, there's only one possible conclusion. The game is rigged. So let's dive into exactly how they're doing it.
This right here is a huge piece of the puzzle. A massive chunk of the trading, sometimes peaking over 80% in a single day, isn't even happening on the public market like the New York Stock Exchange. It's being routed away, hidden from public view. And where is it going? It's going to so-called dark pools. These are basically secret private stock exchanges for the Wall Street elite. It allows them to trade massive numbers of shares anonymously, and here's the key, it stops all of that buying pressure from actually affecting the public stock price. They are hiding the demand. And you can literally watch them do it throughout the day. The data shows it clear as day. The market opens and boom, 80% of the volume is already off exchange. By midday, it can climb to over 84%. They are actively, hour by hour, siphoning our buying power into the dark to kill any chance of an upward price move. But it gets even worse. There's the whole issue of synthetic shares. See, we, the retail investors, own the vast majority of the company's stock. It's well documented. So the question we're all asking is, where are short sellers getting millions and millions of new shares to borrow every single day to keep hammering the price down? The only logical answer is that they're creating them out of thin air. Counterfeit shares designed for one purpose, to create fake selling pressure.
So that leads to the big question, why? Why go through all this trouble to suppress the stock? The motive is actually pretty simple. They are absolutely terrified of AMC's corporate comeback story, and they're trying to kill it before it can truly take off.
You just have to look at the fight over company proposals that would let AMC raise money to pay off its debt. The short sellers fought against it with everything they had. Why? Because a strong, financially secure, debt-free AMC completely destroys their bet against the company. A healthy AMC is their absolute worst nightmare. And this whole situation has sparked something incredible, the ape rebellion. This is way bigger than just one stock now. It's a full-blown movement of everyday people demanding a fair, transparent market and fighting back against what we see as blatant corruption. And you know what? People are starting to listen. We're even seeing major political figures pledging to support aggressive Wall Street reforms. But of course, while we're out here fighting for a fair market, the other side is pushing their own narrative. They want you to ignore all the evidence of manipulation we just talked about and instead focus on their pretty little charts, which, what a surprise, tell a completely different story. They'll show you things like this, a classic bearish pattern called a descending triangle. And they'll say, see, the chart says the price is going down. But here's the thing they conveniently leave out. Technical analysis like this means absolutely nothing in a market that is being actively and illegally manipulated.
And the price target they pull from this pattern, it's just laughable. They're trying to convince people the stock is heading towards 60 cents. It's a scare tactic, pure and simple, designed to get you to sell. And of course, they'll back this up by pointing to the fundamentals. They'll scream about negative earnings and negative book value. Yeah, no kidding. The company went through a once-in-a-century global pandemic. This is a turnaround story. The company is recovering, and that's precisely what the short sellers are betting against. They need the company to fail.
So this is what it all boils down to. We've reached the final standoff. It's our reality, based on what's actually happening versus the fake reality they're trying to manufacture. On our side, you have the ape thesis. The price is fake, artificially suppressed by dark pools and synthetic shares. A massive short squeeze isn't just possible, it's inevitable. Our case is built on conviction, community, and a mountain of data. On their side, you have the technical thesis. The price is fair, the charts predict a collapse, and the stock is going to practically zero. Their case is based on ignoring all the evidence of crime. So it leaves us with one final fascinating question. With billions of dollars on the line, what's going to break first? The cold, manipulated data they keep pushing? Or the fierce, diamond-handed conviction of millions of investors who refuse to let them win? I think we all know the answer to that. That's our breakdown of the great AMC standoff. If you found this valuable and you're with us in this fight, make sure to subscribe and hit that like button to help get the truth out there.